Hi everyone, Jennifer here. Welcome to another episode of Tea Time. Today I am drinking rooibos tea and that's it. There's nothing else in it, but I already had coffee today, so I wanted something that was mild and caffeine free. So I hope you have your cup of tea and let's settle in for a nice chat. Today we are discussing the Oscars 2017. There's so much to discuss. I can't wait to get into it with you. But really quickly, I just wanted to share the sweetest anecdote. So my baby, he's sleeping on the other side of this wall. He's in his bedroom. And he is almost 9 months and he just learned how to wave. So when he waves to us, he goes like this instead of waving. So as I was putting him down to sleep in his crib, he was totally asleep, almost asleep. And he was like this. And as I was putting him in his crib, he went like this. He waved goodbye to me. It just, oh my gosh, it's so sweet. So if I'm speaking low, that's why I don't want to wake him up. But hopefully the microphone will pick up everything that I'm talking about today. Okay, the Oscars 2017. Oh my goodness, let's get into it. If you haven't seen my previous Tea Time with Jennifer video on award shows season, in that video I give you my thoughts on why I no longer enjoy award shows and I don't really watch them anymore. Now, I have to be perfectly honest with you. If I didn't promise to watch the Oscars for this particular Tea Time episode, I wouldn't have watched them this year. And that's mainly because I never saw any of the movies. I actually own almost all of the movies, the major movies that were nominated, because like I said, I'm a member of the Screen Actors Guild and I get sent the movies every year. So you think that I would be able to watch them. But because I have the baby and the girls, I'm just so busy that when I have downtime, I don't really feel like watching a movie for 2 or more hours. I would rather read or edit my videos, or I don't know. I haven't been watching movies lately, so I'm just going through this phase in my life. So I wasn't really going to watch them. I didn't know anything. I wasn't rooting for any particular movie. And also for all of the reasons that I mentioned in my previous video. However, I did watch them just for you. So I have many thoughts and let's get into it. Let's get to the really fun part first, which is best dressed. So I'm just going to talk about the women. There were a lot of men who were dressed really nicely. I just like a classic tuxedo on men. So I don't really like anything that varies from that. I'm very traditional. So I do just love a classic tuxedo, nice clean cut hair. That is best dressed for me. So whoever did that at the Oscars last night, that was who I enjoyed. As for the ladies, gold was definitely the color of the night. There were many, many gold dresses. And I thought that many of them were very beautiful. However, my top 3 were not gold dresses. This is so random, but 2 of my best dressed are Viola Davis and Brie Larson. Again, they were my best dressed for the Golden Globes. And I have my notes here. Viola Davis, she was in Armani Privé and she had that red dress. And she just looks fantastic in these bright colors and they're so refreshing. I thought she looked gorgeous in that dress. I thought it was so beautiful. And then Brie Larson, again, she was my best dressed at the Golden Globes. And she wore a black Oscar de la Renta dress. Now, her dress was very stunning visually and it was just the way it cascaded and the ruffles and everything, just really dramatic and beautiful. So I don't know why those 2 are always my best dressed this year. I've never even seen a movie with Brie Larson in it. I did not watch Room last year because I heard it was really sad and I just don't like watching sad movies right now. So I haven't even seen her in a movie, but she is definitely my best dressed on many of these lists. The third one is Isabelle Huppert. And she is a very famous French actress. She's so famous in France. And when I lived in France, I just saw her all the time in movies, on the television. She's just super famous over there. And so she was nominated this year. And I mention her as my best dressed because I just thought she's such a study of a French woman. She is just very simple and minimalist in her appearance. There's not a lot of bells and whistles going on. You know, her hair just was beautiful and simple. So was her makeup with the strong lip. And her dress was just gorgeous. It was very modest and I like that. And it just, she wore it well. It wasn't like, look at me, like we see in so many of the Hollywood actresses so many times. You know, you see so many extreme fashions with the plunging necklines and the slits all the way up the leg and the see-through and all of that stuff, which I honestly just feel like is, look at me, you know, attention, dresses that just want attention. But I thought Isabelle Huppert looked classy and dignified and loved her dress. So those are my top 3 best dressed at the Oscars this year. Okay, moving on to the show. So I loved how Justin Timberlake opened the show. I thought that that was so upbeat and fun, and my girls actually really like that song, Can't Stop This Feeling. I guess it's from the Trolls soundtrack, because they dance to that. They take ballet, but every now and then the teacher puts that song on when they do a freeze dance, and they love that song. So we actually own that song, and they dance to it a lot. And so they were so excited to see him sing that. And I just thought it was just a fresh, fun way to open the show. I love music at the Academy Awards, so just seeing that was great. And I thought it was really funny because it's just a song that when you hear it, you just want to dance to it. And the celebrities that were there, you could tell they wanted to dance, but they didn't want to like mess up their hair or anything. So they sort of, you know, barely moved. I thought that was really funny. But I thought that his opening was just really great. Jimmy Kimmel as the host. I don't know. What do you think about it? Just let me know in the comment section below. I think he was very witty and very funny many times, and he delivered some good jokes and some good roasts, although the Oscars are really turning into more of a roast than a joke. So I don't know. There's so many zingers on there for like other celebrities, and I don't know what that whole thing was with him and Matt Damon. I'm not in the loop with that, but you know, just constantly roasting people. So he's more of the dry comedian, I feel, that you would see in like a nightclub or something, or like a bar or something like that. And, you know, I love the charming hosts. Like I mentioned, you know, Billy Crystal was such a good host of the Oscars. Steve Martin. I just like that light levity and that charm. But I think that, you know, he was darker and he was very funny at times as well. So I don't know, he gets a mixed rating for me as far as hosting goes. Let's talk about some of the things that happened at the awards show. I loved the tour bus idea. So basically, if you didn't watch the show, in Hollywood, in Los Angeles, they have these red tour buses, and people sit on the roof of them and they drive past all of the celebrities' homes. And you always see them. I even see them in Santa Monica, and I see them everywhere. So they're well known over here. They actually surprised one of these tour buses by having the bus unload at the Academy Awards, and just a group of regular, unsuspecting people who thought they were taking a tour of something else ended up walking into the Oscars and seeing a room full of movie stars and all of their celebrities and the glitz and glamour and everything. And I really enjoyed that segment. I thought it was really funny and fun and fresh, a great idea. Now, the whole time I was watching it, I was thinking to myself, this right here is such a good example of why I say you should look presentable always, because you never know where your day is going to take you. So these people probably just thought, oh, we're going to just take a bus ride and look at some Hollywood homes. And little did they know that they would end up at the Academy Awards with millions of people watching them on television, and also in front of their favorite movie stars. I think that's a good message on why we should try to look presentable always. And yes, I did like that segment. I thought that that was very funny. Mean tweets. So I guess on Jimmy Kimmel's show, he reads mean tweets where celebrities will read about things that people say to them on Twitter that are mean. And it's kind of funny because honestly, I mean, these people, I don't know who, I get some of this stuff too, you know, as a person on YouTube, obviously much less, but the things people say to you over the computer is just ridiculous. So mean tweets are funny. However, I didn't think it was that good for the Oscars, especially with the swearing. There was a lot of swearing and bleeping out and stuff, and I just think that just lowers the tone. This is a classy event, so I don't think that the swearing was appropriate. Right, so now let's talk about the subject that is tough. So this was a very political show, and everybody knew it was going to be a political show. Hollywood is very liberal, and with the current conservative administration, you know, obviously, and then there's just so much drama going on. Obviously, we all knew there was going to be speeches and jokes and jabs. So that happened, and I was expecting that, and it, of course, it didn't disappoint. So it was a very political show. Now, I want to talk about and analyze whether that is working, whether it's good or bad, what regular average people think. Now, when I did my last Tea Time with Jennifer, I mentioned that all of these activism speeches and stuff, of course there's a place for them, but me personally, I can understand how other people feel this too. I feel like it's everywhere, and sometimes I need to escape from it. And that's why I say I'm not going to talk about politics on this blog, because I know that this is many people's happy place. And so we're just not going to go there. So I know that many people like to watch these shows so that they can escape and just relax and just not, you know, undergo political stress anymore. So I was really surprised, because I asked you all what you thought in the last Tea Time with Jennifer on this. Over 90% of you agreed, and you said that you just wanted to hear about the movies and the experience and mentors and movie making process and all of that, and that you didn't want to hear about politics, which I was really surprised about. I thought I would get about 50-50. And I think that my readership and my viewership is very mixed. I think we have a lot of liberals and a lot of conservatives, both, who watch this blog. So I thought that, you know, I don't know, I expected to hear more of a polarizing issue there. But so many of you agreed, whether you were liberal or conservative, that you were kind of tired of having politics seep into every aspect of your life. And so many of you expressed that. Okay, I've got my phone out here because on Facebook I asked many of you for your opinion, and I said I would feature some of your comments on this Tea Time. So the number one, the most liked comment came from Brenda Van Valen, who wrote, "I'm not watching due to, in my opinion, likely unnecessary political comments. They are entertainers and certainly entitled to their opinions, etc., but most of us cannot bring politics into our jobs, and I wish they wouldn't either. I feel like they abuse their platform. Just my opinion." So she had the most liked comment, and most people on the thread said they either weren't watching or they were put off by the constant political commentary. There were a few people who definitely thought that it was necessary for political commentary. And let's see if I can find them. So a woman named Joselle said that she liked the politics being included. She said politics is life or death for most people who don't have the luxury to turn away from it. So she thought that it was good to have the politics in the award show. Yes, so most people did say that they were frustrated by that. But there were a few people who thought that it was necessary. Then I really enjoyed this comment here from Janice. And Janice wrote, "Jennifer, my friend Lorraine and I are watching the Oscars and have just commented that we should write you and suggest using the tour bus moment as a prime example of why you should always dress your best. We are, and always have been, ardent believers in the philosophy. 1 minute on a bus, the next at the Oscars." So that was great, because yes, I mean, that's exactly what I thought. And I wrote back to her and I said, yes, I thought the same thing. Look presentable always. I think, again, it's a polarizing issue. Many people are just tired of the constant politics and they want an escape from that. And it's becoming increasingly harder to find an escape from it. But many people think that it's necessary. So let me know in the comment section what you think. How do you feel about it? And did you watch the Oscars, or did you not watch it because of that reason? Let me know. And lastly, we couldn't discuss the Oscars without discussing that crazy flub at the end where they announced the wrong Best Picture. So here's my story. I was so tired and that thing went so long that I'm sitting on the sofa, and as soon as they announced Best Picture for La La Land, I was like, okay, I'm done, and I turned off the television. I went upstairs to go to bed. And then I was checking something. I went on Facebook or something, and so many people were talking about what just happened. So I thought, what just happened? What did I possibly miss? Then I saw that Moonlight won Best Picture and La La Land didn't. And so Warren Beatty and Faye Dunaway were given the wrong envelope, apparently. Okay, now tea time is veering into the conspiracy theories. Okay, are you ready? It's time to take another sip of tea. This is so bizarre. I'm sorry, but I just think there's something rotten in Denmark. There's something not right about this. Why is it that the last award, the most important award of the night, is the one that gets messed up? I think something is fishy here. This reminded me of the recent beauty contest. I don't know if it was Miss Universe, or I think it was Miss Universe, but something like that, where Steve Harvey was hosting it, and he did the same thing where he announced the incorrect winner, Miss Universe, at the very end. And I thought that was so weird that both of those events took place recently and they both had this thing. So I don't know. Many people on the internet are saying it was all for ratings. It was all for so people would talk about it. I have no idea what happened. Maybe it was an honest mistake. I don't know. I'm just saying that it is weird and something doesn't add up about it. The cast of La La Land handled that very gracefully, and so did the cast of Moonlight. And I mean, that was just really unfortunate to mess that up. But again, I'm not buying the official story. Oh, this was a very juicy tea time episode. We have so much to talk about. Did you watch the Oscars? Yes or no? If no, why not? Who did you think was best dressed at the Oscars this year? What do you think about all of the political commentary? Are you getting tired of it, or do you want more of it? What are your thoughts on that absolute flub on the naming of Best Picture? So let me know in the comment section below. And thank you so much for joining me on the Daily Connoisseur. I'll see you next time. Bye!